Hello, welcome to House News. The government is urged to protect the citizens working abroad by providing accurate and up-to-date information on legal work procedures. The House asked the government to take firm measures in combating the issue of human trafficking of Indonesian migrant workers. Indonesia's parliament has finally agreed to accept 15 units of defense and security equipment from Australia. The 21st plenary meeting has approved the draft law on the continental shelf to become a law. The health bill is a concrete effort by Indonesian parliament to provide more equitable, quality, and affordable healthcare services to all Indonesians. The House requests the government to focus on preparing for legislative and presidential elections in the upcoming year. Come by to one of the oldest mosques in Indonesia. The Great Mosque of Demak was built in 15th century and believed to be the first mosque on Java. The birthplace and spiritual home of Islam, Saudi Arabia, is rich in significance. The Middle Eastern gem is home to the two holiest cities in Islam. As of 2023, it is estimated there are over 2 billion Muslims in the world, making Islam the second largest religion. Commission 9 of the House urges the government to increase people's awareness by disseminating information for working abroad. The statement released in response to the repeated incidents of human trafficking among Indonesian migrant workers recently. Member of Commission 9 of the House Rahmat Handoyo believes human trafficking is not a new issue in Indonesia. No visa requirements to certain countries and limited information regarding legal procedures to work abroad lead to migrant workers trafficked into overseas forced labor. Therefore, Rahmat requests the government to massively disseminate information related to valid working process overseas to the public. Furthermore, government should elaborate the rights and obligations of Indonesian while working abroad.
Kita juga selalu sampaikan kepada Ibu Menteri ya, Tenaga Kerja, kemudian BP2MI untuk masif mensosialisasikan apa-apa prasyarat dan prosedur hak dan tanggung jawabnya dari migran ketika nanti bekerja di luar negeri ya. Sehingga ini selalu kita sampaikan apa bahayanya, apa resikonya ketika tidak prosedural. Dan apa bahayanya ketika prosedural pun harus ada hak dan kewajibannya. Bekerja di perusahaan di mana, kemudian siapa yang bertanggung jawab.
Vice Chairperson of Commission 9 of the House, Immanuel Melquiades Lakalena, encourages the public to apply legal regulations to work abroad. Immanuel advised the public to not be tempted by agents who promise large sums of money for overseas employment.
Pada Bapak Ibu sekalian yang akan berangkat ke kerja luar negeri itu biasanya kami selalu anjurkan untuk ikuti aturan yang ada, jangan ikuti calo ataupun kelompok-kelompok ataupun orang lain yang memang tidak sesuai prosedur itu, karena kita aman ketika berangkat, aman pada saat di sana, dan juga aman ketika balik. Jadi
Ken and Rifki, TVR Parlemen, report. The House is calling for strong actions to combat human trafficking of Indonesian migrant workers. The House members also emphasized the urgency of giving severe penalties on those responsible for these crimes. A human trafficking syndicate has allegedly committed a crime against humanity on the east coast of Sumatra recently. Therefore, the House demands the government's seriousness and commitment to eradicating human trafficking mafias. Member of Commission 3 of the House, Supriyansa, points out weak law enforcement has caused frequent cases of human trafficking in Indonesia. Supriyansa explains the needs to impose sanctions on those who engage in human trafficking activities in order to prevent such crimes from occurring in the future.
Bagaimana cara mematakannya adalah memberikan sanksi yang setegas-tegasnya. Siapa yang melakukan tindak pidana perdagangan orang di Republik ini, maka jatuhkan tindak pidana yang sanksi yang sebesar-besarnya sehingga dia tidak mengulangi lagi.
Furthermore, member of Commission 9 of the House, Neti Prastiani, adds in the case of Indonesian citizens, many people were being lured to work abroad with promise of high salaries. Neti demands the government to enforce the Law number 21 of 2007 concerning the eradication of trafficking in persons.
Kita bekerja sekuat tenaga di titik hulu ya. Seperti apa proses sosialisasi dan pencegahan human trafficking? Karena di situ sangat jelas ya, jika ada salah satu dari 3 ciri human trafficking atau perdagangan orang, semua orang harus bergerak begitu. Mulai dari masyarakatnya memiliki awareness, kemudian aparat desanya, sampai kemudian penegak hukum gitu.
Ken and Rifki, TVR Parlemen, report. Commission 1 of the House has approved an offer from the Australian government to donate tactical vehicles to the Indonesian Ministry of Defence. Member of Commission 1 of the House, Yan Permenas Mandenas, appreciates the donation provided by the Australian government to the Ministry of Defence. Yan also hopes the donation can increase the capacity of national defence system. In addition, Yan Permenas Mandenas explains the military tactical vehicles are necessary for the implementation of global peacekeeping operation. As aligns with the duties and responsibilities of National Peacekeeping Mission Center of Indonesian National Army as determined by the United Nations.
Dan saya pikir dari sisi kebutuhan alutsista memang kita butuh dukungan dari luar juga ketika bisa mendapatkan hibah seperti begitu, kita bersyukur. Sehingga Komisi 1 tidak terlalu banyak pertanyaan yang kita sampaikan ke Panglima TNI dan Wakil Menteri Pertahanan yang mewakili Menteri Pertahanan. Tapi pada prinsip kita setuju karena memang sangat dibutuhkan untuk menunjang operasional dari Satgas Garuda yang dari tahun ke tahun kita kirim ke UN.
Member of Commission 1 of the House, Rizky Aulia Rahman Natakusumah, adds the Australian donation can strengthen the national army. Rizky Aulia assures it is essential to protect Indonesia and prevent any interference from foreign entities.
Hibah beberapa alpahankam atau alutsista yang dihibahkan dari Australia, intinya adalah untuk bisa memperkuat pertahanan kita, itu pertama. Kedua, kita juga menanyakan jangan sampai di sini judulnya gratis, tapi ada hal-hal di belakang yang harus kita bayar secara langsung ataupun tidak langsung. Kita sebagai negara yang kuat, tapi ke depan bisa lebih kuat lagi kalau misalnya komitmen pemerintah terhadap penjagaan kedaulatan tidak dikompromikan. Saya selalu sampaikan jangan sampai ada kompromi terkait dengan penjagaan kedaulatan negara.
TVR Parlemen, report. Stay with us on House News only on TVR Parlemen. The House has officially enacted the Continental Shelf Bill into law. Based on the law, the government is required to form derivative rules within a maximum of 2 years from the enactment date. The chairperson of the Special Committee for the Continental Shelf Bill, Nurul Arifin, mentions the law aims to regulate the development of the continental shelf in Indonesia. Some of the crucial substances change in the discussion of the bill, which consists of 11 chapters and 59 articles, include the powers as investigators of criminal acts on the continental shelf, in addition to the Indonesian Navy and civil servant investigations in the context of law enforcement.
Mengakomodir perubahan-perubahan yang terjadi dalam perkembangan dunia lah begitu. Ada istilah-istilah yang di-unclose yang tadinya juga tidak diadopsi di dalam Undang-Undang Landas Kontinen tahun 1973 itu. Kita masukkan ke situ juga tentang pemidanaan ya, kemudian tentang eksplorasi dan sebagainya yang terkait dengan bawah laut dan penambahan rumusan baru terkait dengan pemberatan terhadap perguruan tinggi, lembaga asing yang meneliti karena seringkali banyak lembaga-lembaga asing yang melakukan penelitian di bawah laut tapi tidak berkoordinasi dengan kepolisian ataupun dengan instansi terkait, akibatnya seringkali meninggalkan kerusakan, pencemaran dan sebagainya, dan itu tidak ada undang-undang yang mengaturnya. Nah, di dalam Undang-Undang Landas Kontinen yang baru ini itu diatur begitu.
Moreover, Nurul Arifin hopes the new regulation could strengthen the integrity of the unitary state of the Republic of Indonesia and will be used as the legal basis for negotiations, settlement of boundaries, and legal resolutions in the continental shelf. Oki and Julian, TVR Parlemen, report. Vice Chairperson of Commission 9 of the House, Emmanuel Melquiades Lacalena, is optimistic the health bill would provide a strong legal foundation to reform the Indonesian health system. Commission 9 of the House is currently preparing a health bill which will revolutionize the national healthcare system and aims to reach all citizens across the country as mandated by the Constitution. Vice Chairperson of Commission 9 of the House, Emmanuel Melquiades Lacalena, states Commission 9 will advocate and accommodate the public's opinions to be included in the substance of the health bill. Melki expects the health bill would boost the health system in Indonesia.
Setiap OP itu memahami bahwa kita harus melakukan proses perubahan dengan sistem kesehatan kita hari ini, di mana gagasan-gagasan mungkin dia terpecah-pecah ya ide gagasan, tapi substansi besarnya saya kira sama. Nah, cuman memang tadi kalau dari catatan dari Bapak Ibu, kalau cermati tadi adalah posisi mungkin awalnya mungkin mereka tidak menerima pembahasan ataupun menolak, tapi ada ide-ide yang mereka ingin sampaikan agar itu bisa didengarkan atau bisa dibahas dan menjadi bagian yang kita perjuangkan. Nah, tentunya kami tidak mau ada pada posisi bahas sekarang atau nanti, ataupun tolak ataupun terima, tapi substansi-substansinya akan kami nanti bahas dalam proses ke depan dalam rangka untuk memastikan bahwa undang-undang kesehatan ini nanti menjadi undang-undang yang ideal bagi para tenaga kesehatan, bagi Fasiankes, dan berbagai pihak terkait yang itu betul-betul publik bisa mendapatkan layanan kesehatan yang berkualitas, murah dan terjangkau dan adil merata di seluruh tanah air.
Previously, Working Committee for the Health Bill has held a public hearing meeting with medical professional associations to engage suggestions and aspirations related to the health bill formulations. Panji and Edo, TVR Parlemen, report.
Commission 2 of the House encourages the government and the election organizers to focus on the stages of the election and ensure they can be carried out in established timeline.
Commission 2 of the House recently held a meeting to discuss 2 draft regulations related to the upcoming 2024 elections. The meeting was attended by the Minister of Home Affairs, the General Election Commission, the Election Supervisory Board, and the Regional Election Supervisory Committee. During the meeting, Commission 2 approved the draft regulations on the nomination of members of the regional provinces and regencies and the Second Amendment to the Regulation No. 10 of 2022 on the nomination of individual members of the Regional Representative Council. Member of Commission 2 of the House, Guspardi Gaus, expresses appreciation for Jakarta High Court's decision to evaluate and overturn the Central Jakarta District Court's ruling on the matter, which will ensure the 2024 election can proceed as scheduled.
Surut. Nah, kita tidak ingin dikesankan menzalimi orang-orang walaupun terpidana itu adalah sesuatu hukuman yang sudah ingkrah dan juga ketetapannya juga sudah ditentukan harus yang sudah punya jeda 5 tahun itu kita setuju. Jadi artinya adalah kami tidak mengkibiri atau tidak mengakomodir keputusan MK yang 1 Maret 2023 itu.
Commission 2 of the House requests the government and election organizers to stay focused on the stages of election and ensure they can be carried out as planned with the election set for upcoming February 14, 2024. Halim and Rian, TVR Parlemen, report.
We'll continue after the break. When we return, we'll be giving more interesting information. Stay tuned only on House News. Sandwiched between Semarang, Jepara, and Kudus, the town of Demak was the cradle from where Islam spread throughout the entire island of Java. Let's visit the Grand Mosque of Demak as one of the historical sites in Indonesia.
Demak Grand Mosque, also known as Masjid Agung Demak, is a historical mosque located in the city of Demak in central Java, Indonesia. The mosque is considered to be one of the oldest mosques in Indonesia and is also recognized as a cultural heritage site by the Indonesian government. The mosque was originally built in the 15th century during the reign of Sultan Raden Patah, the first Sultan of the Demak Sultanate. The mosque is famous for its unique architectural style, which blends traditional Javanese and Islamic design elements. One of the most interesting aspects of the mosque is the historical significance. The mosque played a key role in the spread of Islam in Java and is considered to be the birthplace of the Demak Sultanate, which was the first Muslim state in Java. Today, The mosque is a popular destination for tourists and religious pilgrims alike. Visitors can explore the mosque interior, which features a large prayer hall, a central dome, and a series of smaller domes. The mosque also has several courtyards and gardens, as well as a museum dedicated to the history of Islam in Java. Demak Grand Mosque is a fascinating historical and cultural landmark, reflecting the unique blend of Islamic and Javanese influences shaping Indonesia's rich cultural heritage.
Saudi Arabia, a country in the Middle East, is a spiritual heaven for Muslims. It is largely because of Mecca and Medina, which are deemed to be sacred cities cherished by a billion Muslims across the globe.
Mecca and Medina are two of the holy cities in the world for Muslims. Located in the western region of Saudi Arabia, the cities are the birthplace of Islam and the site of some of the most important events in Islamic history. Mecca is the holiest city in Islam and the birthplace of the Prophet Muhammad. It is home to the Kaaba, a cube-shaped building located in the center of the Grand Mosque. Muslims around the world face the Kaaba during their daily prayers, making it the most sacred site in Islam. Every year, millions of Muslims across the globe visit Mecca to perform the Hajj, the annual pilgrimage, which is one of the 5 pillars of Islam. During the Hajj, pilgrims perform a series of rituals including circumambulating the Kaaba 7 times and running between the hills of Safa and Marwa. Medina, also known as Madinah, is the second holiest city in Islam and is the location of the Prophet Muhammad's tomb. It was also the site of the first Islamic state, established by the Prophet Muhammad after he migrated from Mecca to Medina. Medina is home to the Prophet's mosque, which contains the Prophet's tomb and is considered the second most important mosque in Islam after the Grand Mosque in Mecca. The Prophet's Mosque is also the site of the Battle of the Trench, one of the most significant battles in Islamic history. Both Mecca and Medina are considered sacred and holy cities in Islam, and Muslims around the world have a great respect for them. Non-Muslims are not allowed to enter either city, making them exclusively Muslim places of worship and pilgrimage. The cities are significant not just for their religious importance, but also for their historical and cultural significance as well. They serve as a reminder of the great legacy of Islam and the role it has played in shaping the world's religious and cultural landscape.
With Islam being one of the fastest growing religions globally, Muslims are expected to be 24% of the total populations. Let's take a look at some of the most Muslim populated countries as of today.
With such a quick pace of Muslims spreading around the globe, Islam is rapidly becoming the most followed religion in the world. Here are the top 5 countries with the largest Muslim populations. Indonesia is the largest Muslim population in the world. Approximately 87% of the population identify as a Muslim. The influence of Islam in Indonesia can be seen in the country's architecture, culture, and traditions. Pakistan is a South Asian country with the second largest Muslim population in the world. Pakistan's national identity is strongly tied to Islam. The country's official language is Urdu, which is written in Arabic script. India is the third largest Muslim population in the world. Islam has had a significant influence on India's culture, art, and literature. There are many famous Islamic landmarks in the country, such as the Taj Mahal. Bangladesh is the fourth largest Muslim population in the world. Islam has played a significant role in the country's history, and it has left a crucial mark on Bangladesh culture and traditions. Nigeria is a West African country with the fifth largest Muslim population in the world. The country has produced many famous Muslim scholars, writers, and thinkers. These countries have a significant Muslim population, and Islam plays a vital role in each respective cultures and traditions. The influence of Islam can be seen in various aspects of life in these countries, from their architecture to their art, literature, and music.
And that's the House News for today. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode of House News only on TVR Parlemen.